There's been a massive hack of the websites of 4,000 Australian businesses. It's being described as the biggest cyber attack ever seen here. All the companies have been left without an online presence and none of the lost material is apparently recoverable. It's the latest evidence of a cyber crime wave hitting businesses all around the world. And it's not just comparatively small Australian ones affected. Giants like Google, Sony and even the CIA have all been victims. 7:30 can reveal that tomorrow the federal government will propose new cybercrime laws. But as Tracy Bowden reports, at the moment the criminals are one step ahead.
Cybercrime, it is the #1 organised crime case globally. You're looking at about $3 trillion a year.
And hackers have stolen data from
like Google's Gmail account.
Every day the headlines tell the story of the ever-growing cyber menace.
It doesn't matter how big you are or how secure you are, these cyber criminals, particularly the very highly organised ones, will find a way to penetrate your system.
Technology giant Sony is still struggling to shore up its defences after a devastating series of attacks.
Oh my God!
Google fell prey to an assault on Gmail accounts. A high-profile US defence contractor was attacked.
President Obama was briefed today on a recent cyber attack on Lockheed Martin.
And hackers struck at the International Monetary Fund.
The profits from cybercrime are so great that they've now surpassed the global drug industry.
Extortion is widespread within these critical sectors.
Cybercrime fighters are striving to keep pace with the hackers. They gather at conferences like this one, sharing expertise on what's become a thriving growth industry.
Unfortunately, it's very easy to become one of the bad guys. First thing you need is the desire to become one. The second thing is you can jump onto the website and for $600 or $700, you can buy an entire kit on how to become one of these hackers.
The internet was founded on the free flow of information. At the time, there was no sense of where that might lead.
Anonymity, everything was built into a system which made it pretty much the perfect breeding ground for criminals, all right? But that wasn't thought of at the time.
The early internet was the domain of the military and academics. It was only 2 decades ago that the first web page was created, opening the internet to broader use.
A computer network called the Internet is giving people many of the promised benefits of the superhighway.
By 1995, there were 16 million users. With personal banking and online shopping, the movement of money began. Social networking and mobile technology brought more people on board. Sharing personal information became the norm. In 2011, there are 2 billion users, 30% of the world's population. And with this exponential growth, an unparalleled opportunity for crime.
1 in every 4 computers will become compromised and hijacked in a way that they will be used as part of the cybercrime underworld of a botnet within the next 5 years.
A botnet is a network of private computers infected with malicious software. The so-called bot master uses the computing power of the compromised machines to do anything from spread child pornography to infiltrate huge organisations.
They give the criminals the power, literally, if they needed to take down, critical infrastructure of whether or not it be an electrical grid, potentially a nuclear power plant, a banking system.
I'm going to get into some of the technologies behind botnets.
Alana Morushat of the Cyberspace Law and Policy Centre is a leading authority on botnets. She says most people, even the wary, wouldn't know that their computer had been hijacked.
There's nothing on their computer that will dictate or tell you that it's part of a botnet. So recently, for example, my own computer became part of a botnet, and I'm a cybercriminal expert. And I didn't know it until the ISP phoned me up and said, by the way, we're seeing some abnormal activity from your internet connection.
Give me your money and I take care of it for you, no problem. It's so easy with online. I go on your computer, transfer from your bank to my bank of Nikolai, then I put it in my pocket.
With the volume of cybercrime, the internet security industry is enjoying boom times as well. Antivirus software provides protection, but the challenge lies in keeping pace with the ever-evolving threat. Private investigator Ken Gamble saw an opportunity and grabbed it, setting up a company to help fight internet fraud.
The majority of your cyber criminals, they're there for one reason. They're there to make money. So the reason they're hacking into your system is to steal your documents, your information, your identity.
Hello, I'm Bennett Aaron, and I'm going to be talking about how I had my identity stolen.
What the... Bennett Aaron knows plenty about identity theft.
Do you know what time I'm on in the morning?
Yes. This comedian is in demand on the cybercrime conference circuit. And it's not only because he's funny. A decade ago, he was arranging finance to buy a house when he made a startling discovery.
I had my identity stolen. Suddenly I had a letter from the bank saying that they had just discovered my outstanding debts. Somebody had been using my name for the previous year and a half, running up debts.
All it took was for his basic information to fall into the wrong hands.
My credit rating was 0, so I couldn't get the house, I couldn't open any bank accounts, I couldn't get a credit card, I couldn't do anything until I cleared my name, which took me 2 years.
Identity theft is now part of his act, but while he's made a career out of his misfortune, he urges others to take care online.
Now, what I try and do is just to warn people how easy it is to happen and what has to be put up to stop it from happening.
You need a good virus software and you need to update it. So when your computer asks you, would you like to run, your antivirus today, you needed to have it patching each and every day.
These people can perpetrate crimes, plan attacks in the tens of millions, hundreds of millions over time without even ever knowing each other.
Brad Barker is a former US Navy SEAL who's turned his talents towards battling cybercrime.
You've got the US Pentagon in Washington, D.C. that gets 5 million credible penetration attempts every day. You've got universities that have students' very personal and financial information that gets pinged and exploited for nefarious means all the time. And these are just the ones that hit the news. The overwhelming majority of these attacks go unreported.
Can legislation do anything in this global situation? And do you think it will get worse before people start to get on top of it?
Unfortunately, cyberspace is not an area that you can put on a map. It's not a place that you can technically go to, which makes it virtually impossible to police because the veil of anonymity that exists in the internet is one of the things that attracts people to it.
It is a war. The war against cybercrime is here.
What about the suggestion that you might be overstating the case to drum up business?
Well, I think the facts and figures speak for themselves. And the wonderful thing about our business is we don't have to do that. Companies are coming to us every day with issues and problems.
The fast connections that will come with Australia's national broadband network could provide an even greater challenge in the fight against cybercrime.
It's going to offer the mums and dads of Australia a lot more access, but it's also going to offer the criminals a lot more opportunity.
There's broad agreement that attacking cybercrime requires a global approach. But for now, it seems the bad guys are one step ahead.
If you were to put it in terms of a sports score, police 1, law enforcement 1, cyber criminals 10.